This is Heavy Conversation with Bruce and Jody, a podcast where we talk about being a big guy in today's world. I'm Bruce. And I'm Jody. Here we go.
Here we go.
All right, here we go. All right, here we go. Here we go.
Hello.
Hey, Bruce.
How's it going?
Good. How are you doing?
Good, good. So, everybody has been talking about this, everybody on the internet.
Everybody.
Yes. Shrill.
Yes. Woo, Shrill.
Yeah, it came out on Hulu, and it was awesome.
It is awesome.
Yes.
If you haven't checked it out, you definitely need to get Hulu on your streaming service somehow, some way.
Yep.
It was actually filmed, I don't know all of it, but a lot of it was filmed here in Portland, actually kind of in my backyard, which was really weird.
Yes, I know, like right here in our neighborhood.
Yeah.
Like not just in the city,
No,
but like
in our neighborhood.
Yeah.
Because Bruce and I live very close to each other, which is also kind of funny and weird. But
yeah, right.
Like when we moved in, I was like, you're like, where are you? And I'm like, this is our address. You're like, that is literally down the street from me.
Blocks away.
Yeah. But last year, they were filming some things around in our neighborhood, and I'm like, what's going on? Blah, whatever. And then it was so weird when I was watching Shrill, and I'm like, oh my God, that is the street.
I know that place.
I know that place.
Yep.
I know that strip club.
Yeah,
no,
right.
I didn't really know, but I knew that was it.
I did, and we were watching. My wife and I was like, "Look, that strip club is right down the street from our house. It's here in our neighborhood. It's our friendly neighborhood strip club." Yep.
Everyone needs one of those.
Yeah. So maybe we should take a step back, and for anyone who's listening and doesn't know what Shrill is, we can talk a little bit about. I know.
Who are you?
Yes. So Shrill is a show based on a book.
Yes.
By Lindy West.
Oh boy, yeah, I can't remember.
Yes. The show is Adie Bryant from Saturday Night Live stars.
Amazing.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it is, I mean, at its most basic, I think it is like her experience as a person of size.
Yes, full-figured.
Yeah, kind of navigating life. And
navigating her work and her life and her family and friends and
the trials and tribulations of being a fat person and just dealing with work and relationships and family and all of those things that if you're a bigger person, you will identify with this.
Yeah, you go through the world differently than other people do, just your interactions with people. Yeah, she's like, and I think she is like trying to change her life a little bit, but not her body, which I thought was kind of empowering throughout the episodes. It's like the first one, you kind of see how people interact with her and how she's like, oh, okay. Like the interaction with the fitness person at the coffee shop. And I was like, there's a skinny person inside. You have a little person inside of you.
Yeah,
I was like, what?
Yeah. So
I hope they're doing okay in there.
They did a very good job of not making it like your life will be better if you lose weight. If you are a thinner person.
There were people outside trying to tell her that. And she's like, what?
But, a lot of the narrative of a lot of shows that focus on this kind of thing is, they lose weight and their life changes and it's great. And that wasn't what this was. It was she was able to get to a great place through realization that she is worthy as she is.
Exactly. And and how she like tries to empower herself in those relationships with her boss or coworkers or significant others and family, and just being like, no, this is who I am and you have to accept that.
Right. And I deserve better.
And I deserve better from.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think, if you're familiar with the show, then with Shrill, then you've probably seen a lot of, articles and social feedback and, things like that, where people are really talking about it kind of from the, the female perspective of being able to identify with this. For me, I was able to identify with the way that she felt and the things she went through in so many ways.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
It's not a singular experience that maybe,
it's not a female femme centric. It's just I think it encompasses a lot of the bigger bodied experiences.
If you're fat, you've dealt with a lot of these things, like
exactly.
the way that people are like, you'd be amazing if you lost weight, or being in relationships with people, whatever kind of relationship that is, and having to sneak out the back because they don't want to introduce you to the friends, or maybe not that extreme, but feeling
they
like
felt
that.
made you feel that way,
right,
not introducing you to the friends or the family, and like, what the hell's going on with that?
Right. Making you feel like you're less because you're bigger, and because they can't be proud of being with you. And there were definitely things in that where, watching as she went through some of those really cringy parts, where it was like, oh God, I've certainly felt things that are similar to
when
that.
she, like the thing with her boyfriend or whatever, where he likes to not use a condom during sex, and she's like, well, that's his favorite thing. I don't want to take away his favorite thing.
Yeah.
And it was like, wow, like, you're not going to stand up for yourself.
Sure.
But there was a very powerful scene there with her roommate, best friend.
Right.
When they were like in some yard sale or something. I don't know where they were, but and she's like, well, my favorite thing is you not having a kid with this guy or whatever.
Right.
Basically. And I was like, wow, that's really...
And she ended up getting pregnant, and they went through the entire process of the abortion.
Yeah, like,
and
what do you do?
Yeah.
Like, and it was pretty powerful about, like, she never felt like she could have a relationship or even have kids with someone. And
right. That she was worthy of that, or that she could get that. And so many people feel that way. And I think, I know that people have, through Chubster, I've seen... I've talked to people who feel that way, and I know people in their lives, and I've certainly felt that way at times in my life. When I was
no one's going to love you. No one's going to
right.
want to spend the rest of their life with you, which is completely not true.
Totally.
Confidence is very sexy, so if
absolutely
you want to get that, you have to, like, be confident. And
it's out there. It is definitely out there, and I think. She starts to kind of come to that realization, and she starts to see that there are people who are bigger that are living really rad, awesome lives. And the fourth episode, I think, third or fourth episode of the pool party.
Oh, I don't know what it was called, but and that's an actual thing that was happening here in Portland.
Yeah.
And I think they're bringing it back because of that. And people have been like, oh my God.
Totally. So it's
that
something,
like a community center or something here.
Yeah. It's something that's been around for a long time, like a Chunky Dunk kind of thing.
Chunky Dunk. Where, that's what it was. I was like, I don't remember
it's like a fat positive pool party, and people go, and they don't have to feel weird or ashamed or self-conscious of their bodies. They go, and they're there at these pool parties with other bigger people. Yeah. And they're having a great time. And these
parties are the best.
Yeah, and these things have been going on for years and years and years. And it's I remember moving to Portland and hearing about those. And
was it only femmes or females?
I don't think so.
Okay, I think that's what it was portrayed in the episode. But
I think so, and I think I think so, and I think that was because. All of this stuff, body positivity and body image and, plus size fashion and fat acceptance has really started focused on, the feminine side of things. It's been that, and that's kind of where it's been championed. So, but in real life, really I think it's open to
everyone. Okay.
I think. Okay. Yeah.
Well, we're going.
Yeah. Yeah, I had been invited for the last couple of years and just hadn't gone or hadn't been able to for whatever reason. So I think those parties are going to start showing up everywhere now because of the show. So
start your own Chunky Dunk if you don't have one.
Exactly, and look around because I'm sure other people are planning those.
Yes,
but she goes to this pool party to cover it.
Because she was going to write an article. Yeah, because she was like the event calendar.
She works for like an alternative weekly kind of newspaper in Portland, which is like it obviously a fake one that's based on whatever.
Every bigger city has a local rag paper,
right? And her boss is kind of really an ass and just like
what is his name? Cameron?
Was that
the guy from Hedwig?
Yeah, I can't remember now, but he's really a turd, and he's pretty fat phobic, and that kind of comes out later on.
John Cameron Mitchell, sorry,
but she kind of steps out and kind of does.
But that's funny. She wears jeans to the pool party.
She does. And
but she's like trying. She's like not sure.
Right.
She's like very apprehensive and like trying to be very professional. And...
As she's writing in her career, she's kind of just getting started, and she's branching out and starting to do more, and she really wants more opportunities, and she's willing to do what she needs to do to make that happen, which is cool because it was like at first you could tell she was kind of waiting for permission to do that. That wasn't going to happen, so she took the opportunities to make things happen. She wrote an article. It got a lot of views, and it started a lot of
like the most clicks on their website or whatever.
And it kind of built up from there. So her second article was going to be covering this pool party, and wasn't that it?
That's what it was originally. And then I think she had like an epiphany in that. And then she just was like, well, I don't know what it was called. I'm fat and
she started to see all these rad, these great fat people who were out there at this pool party having a great time, looking great, enjoying their lives.
Yes.
And the cool part about that, aside from the story and the narrative, was that I recognized a ton of the people in the background.
Right?
I was like, hey, I know them.
I've seen her before. Yeah. That was fun.
Added bonus if you're, if you follow this kind of stuff or if you live in Portland.
Right.
But
you all have to live in Portland. It's the best.
That's right. That's right.
It's very fat positive, sex positive, body positive. All that stuff. Yeah.
It is. It's all that stuff that you hope for.
Yes.
So she has this kind of awakening that sort of goes from there. And it was just really interesting to see that and see how they played it up in a way that wasn't cheesy, that wasn't like, the fat person in a show is usually like second fiddle, and they don't.
Yeah, she gets like a lot, the best lines, a little zingers, like, I always feel like it's the side characters, the fat character never gets the good lines.
Right.
Or they're like, they're always the comedic relief or whatever, but she gets.
Right.
Some powerful lines, and
she did, and there's even a sex scene where she's in her underwear, and you see rolls, and you actually see her body, and it's
powerful.
It was amazing. That's something you never see. And you never see it played in a way that is compelling like that.
Yeah, and it didn't feel like it was weird,
right?
It was just a normal scene in a movie that you would
absolutely
see in any, movie, or I guess it's a TV show. Sorry,
right?
Whatever.
But you don't see that in media. You don't see that, especially in mainstream media.
Yeah, exactly.
Should we open the beer?
Yes.
All right.
Well, actually, it's today or this week's episode is we have a hard cider.
Yes.
100% fresh pressed apples. Is that Shilling? Shilling hard cider.
Yes.
London Dry.
All right.
It's very. Oh,
perfect.
Fill a highball glass with ice. Oh, there's a recipe for some sort of drink on the side. Sorry. I was like, what?
Well, yeah, we don't do a ton of ciders, so this
Have we done any?
Have we?
I guess I'll have to go consult the Untapped app.
Yeah, I guess so. All right.
They don't sponsor us. They should, but we talk about it a lot.
I know.
Do you want a little... a little sip for the crew here.
Yeah, there we go.
Sorry, I didn't forget you.
Woo! Tart. That is tart. That is...
I guess it is. There's lots of hoots and hollers going on.
Yeah, it's... What kind is it? Hard cider?
It just says hard cider. Shilling.
Okay, let's see. Shilling hard cider. It is London Dry. Okay. Yeah, dry, tart. 100% fresh pressed apples. There we go. It's vegan, gluten-free. Glorious. It says it's
inspired by traditional London pub-style cider. London Dry is bright, crisp, apple forward, yes, and dry as a bone. Yes, it does definitely
it is.
Dry you out.
This is good, though, because I generally don't like sweet beers or ciders. And
they're from Seattle, Washington.
This is not bad.
That is.
Yeah.
It really gets you on the back of the tongue there.
It does. This is 6.5% as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Dry apple tart.
I was actually reading something a couple days ago about how there are states that wouldn't allow beer above like 3% or something, and now they're just starting to
really
expand that. I want to say Kansas was one of those where breweries had to make beer at a different ABV specifically for like Kansas, and it was like something from the Prohibition that they had just never. The law had been on the books
and just never.
So they had 3% beer like across the board.
I thought it was like that's like what is it, gas station beer or whatever?
Right,
it's like 3%.
Totally. Yeah.
Can.
Yeah, I feel like Minnesota was one of the other states.
Yeah, Minnesota. I was like, that sounds familiar. I was like, a lot of the beer is only 3% or 3.5% or something like that.
Yeah, so they've lifted that in Kansas, but not in Minnesota. I believe was the.
Yeah, I don't know. They just recently started selling liquor and beer on Sundays, so they're a little behind.
Yeah. Speaking of beers and ciders and everything, we celebrated your birthday a few days ago.
Oh yes,
happy birthday to you!
Thank you.
It was fun.
I was excited at how many people showed up. We just went to Rogue Brewery.
Rogue Brewery, yeah.
Then we went to Cascade Brewing.
Yes.
And I think that was as far as we got.
Cascade is fun because they do sours, right?
Sours, yeah. So Bjorn really likes sours, and we'd been there a couple of times, so I thought it would be nice to show people or have people taste some different types of things. A lot of people were very apprehensive, but we kind of guided people through a few different. It's nice because you can do the little sampler, the 3-ounce sampler,
and they have so many different kinds of sours that it's insane.
Like like crazy sour that I can't handle to like sweet little
right, sweet. I mean, they different kinds of
they
fruits,
had like funky ones. Yeah,
they did everything. My favorite that they make is called Sang Noir. Unfortunately, they don't make it anymore, but they did have bottles of it.
Yes, they had vintage Sang Noir.
Yeah. Sang Noir. I tried a few others, and man, there were some that just packed a punch.
Yes, it did. I was a little worried about you for a minute there.
Yeah, so was I. That's why I had to stop. I was like, no more.
I'm like, Bruce, come back.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was fun. I thank you for coming, and thank you to everyone that showed up.
So Shrill. It was 6 episodes, right? 5?
6. I know, only 6.
Yeah, 6. So
because when we wanted to talk about it, I was like, oh, did I finish it?
Right.
I feel like there should be more.
So I thought I heard that was like that they just put out the first half of the first season, but I don't know if that's absolutely true. It may be that was the first season. They're going to do another one or something like that.
It was very short.
Yeah.
Ooh, I felt like there was so much more, even in a season that they
Because we talked about the work, there was stress at work. We talked about some of the relationship stuff. She, even with her parents, there were touchy things there.
Yeah, and that article that she wrote after the pool party, she kind of laid out these things about the relationship with her mom and how she doesn't feel like her mom accepts her the way she is, and there was all these things about relationships and it was,
all that stuff. And and I mean, a lot of those things, I think there's a lot that you can really relate to when you watch the show. And just thinking about that, I mean, I certainly can think of family members who are like, oh, it looks like you're, who had things to say about, they're always something like that. And it's, so it was interesting to see that dynamic. And they did it in a way that shows with everybody across the board, every character, they're multifaceted. It isn't just this is a this is a bad person or whatever. There were all these different sides.
Well,
to
even her boyfriend or whatever. Like he's a bad boyfriend, but then I think one of the lines he said something about. It's not that I don't care, but every time I try, I mess it up, so I don't try or something like that.
Right.
Like that was kind of a powerful. Like he revealed that's why, he's bad at relationships because every time he did try, he failed. So now he just doesn't really try. He's not trying to be a bad guy.
Right.
But he doesn't know any better. He doesn't know how to be good in a relationship. So I thought that was kind of powerful. And
definitely. I think
made you not hate him as much maybe anymore. Like, okay, well, maybe we can have discussions about that and teach you how to be a better boyfriend.
And even with the parents, you know, the mom would say something about her weight or her diet or whatever. But then on the other hand, you know, there were so many things that were great about her, and just all, it's like real life. It was like real life. And I thought that was great about it. And I'm excited to see, hopefully they do more episodes.
They should better.
Yes. Hopefully so.
Maybe we should have started this with hashtag spoilers in the beginning, but
right. Well, I would say that if you're basing everything off of our description, you're not getting the full picture. So please go watch the show.
Watch it, support it, get those views for Hulu so they make some more.
Yes.
And I thought it was great that apparently I can't remember the actress's name, but she helped write a lot of the episodes as well.
Oh yeah, okay.
And then so there were bigger women on the writing team from what I was reading about. So it kind of helped get a better perspective of, you know, that wasn't just people writing for bigger bodies. It was bigger bodies writing for bigger bodies.
Which is really cool because it's people who actually have had similar experiences that are writing about this thing that they know. Mm-hmm. And it absolutely shows through in the episodes.
All the interactions were very true to life.
Right.
It wasn't like, that doesn't happen.
Right.
But it was like that interaction, again, I keep going back to it with that, you know, fitness instructor in that coffee shop. Like that stuff happens.
Right.
You know,
I read something that Adie Bryant said that she ran into something like that, that she had that real experience. And I think she grew up in Arizona, maybe. Okay. And that it was that she had an experience that was really like that.
Yeah.
And
I think it's important across the board to have a more diverse writing and production team.
Absolutely.
For shows, movies, because then you get the true experiences on the screen instead of what you think it is.
Right.
You know, you need those bigger people or people of color or, you know, whatever it is on the writing team, on the production team, whatever, directing. So you get those true actual stories and what it actually is about.
It feels like a step in the right direction, you know?
Yeah.
It feels like we're seeing something that we haven't seen that we want to see. So
yeah, I was excited when I saw it and I was like, oh, this looks fun.
Yep.
Well, they had like a big premiere here. So I was like, wait, what?
Oh yeah. Right.
I want to watch more shows that are based in Portland.
Yes.
There's a lot of them, but
there are actually a lot of shows filmed here. Yeah. All right,
guys. Well, I hope that gave you a little snippet of our thoughts on Shrill. Make sure you go and download the Hulu app and go check it out. Go share it with some friends. Share our episode with your friends.
Please.
Let them know. You know, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. And we'll talk to you guys on the next episode.
All right.
Thanks, Bruce.
Thank you, Jody.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening to Heavy Conversation. Be sure to like and subscribe on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts.